Welcome, everybody. I am here doing our next artist interview, highlighting our artists and educators that are part of the ArtConnects exhibition in partnership with Great Falls Public Schools and the Sam Russell Museum. And I am here with Jerry Olson. And so, Jerry, would you like to introduce yourself and tell me a little bit about what you do as an educator and what you do as an artist?
Thank you for having me. My art career, I guess, got started when I graduated from high school. I had no idea what I was going to do. And I stood out in the parking lot at CMR with my diploma in my hand going, okay, now what? Didn't have a plan. My mom and dad said, well, you have another season of baseball, so let's just see what happens after baseball. But during that summer, a coach came up to me from North Idaho College and said, hey, we want you to come here and play baseball. We're going to give you a scholarship. Would you like to come? And I thought, I've got nothing else going on. Sure. So I looked at some of the things they had to offer commercial art. If I took a certain program that they were offering me, and commercial art was one of them, then I could get the in-state tuition waived, and then they would pay for all my school. So that's what I did. I went commercial art. It was a 2-year school. So when I transferred to Eastern Washington, they wouldn't accept my commercial art credits for a major. They said, well, you can get a minor, but you'll have to take one of our art classes. So they signed me for drawing 101, signed me up for drawing 101 after I had about 80 credits of commercial art. So I got my minor. Never thought I'd use it. When I student taught, my major was PE, secondary PE. And so when I student taught in Spokane, and they gave me 2 art classes and 3 PE classes, a weight training class. After a week or so, they took me out of the art and just gave me all PE. When I came back to Montana, they have a K through 12 endorsement here. So I had to go back to school and pick up my K through 12 endorsement of art and PE. I started teaching elementary PE in Great Falls and then got riffed. And so I took a new job out in Sims, and it was weight training, health, sophomore health, freshman health, PE, and art. So I was the art department at Sims. And I was very intimidated at first. I came and asked Jean Price when she was teaching at Great Falls High. I said, what can I do? I'm hired as an art teacher out there. I'm the only one out there. I don't know what I'm doing. She goes, relax and just buy a book called Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain and go from there. So I did that. And I went through all the lessons and, honed up my skills. And so I was teaching out there, and I taught out in Sims for 7 years. I liked it, but my kids, I was commuting back and forth from Great Falls. And my kids were starting school, and I didn't like being 45 minutes away from home if there's an emergency. Came back and took another elementary PE job, and then transferred to Great Falls High and was a health, PE, weight training, football coach, all those things. And then never thought I'd ever get back into art again. When they decided to put driver's ed into the school day, they had 2 art classes, and they asked me if I wanted them, and I said sure. So I took them, and it was awesome. I taught 3 classes of driver's ed and 2 classes of art workshop, and I had so much fun. I was working with a wonderful lady next door to me, Betsy Rogstead. It was just really fun. I enjoyed it so much, and I thought this could be a great way to end my career. The next year they weren't doing driver's ed, and they came with my involuntary transfer, and I thought, oh, where am I going? They said, you're not going anywhere. You're going to stay here, and you're going to teach art full time. I did 3 more years of that, and then this opportunity came to move and be a middle school counselor came, and so I thought, what a great way to end. I have all these degrees, and if I didn't use my master's degree in counseling, I might upset my grandpa, because he's the one that helped me get started way back in the day. So that's what I'm doing now.
What type of art do you like to make? What is your favorite type of medium to work in, and why?
And I remember going to school at CMR, and I just always liked to draw. I was always doodling. I probably should have been taking notes, but I was always doodling, and I was doing caricatures and cartoon objects and just doodling, stuff like that. And I loved pencil. I felt like I had a lot of control with pencil, but then I never felt I could be an artist if I was pencil. So I was thinking, okay, I got to learn how to oil paint, or I got to learn how to do some charcoal, or pottery never crossed my mind. Then I walked into a Russell art show over at the Heritage Inn, and the auction. And I'm walking around and looking at stuff, and I walked into Don Graytack's room. He's a pencil artist. I thought I was looking at black and white photographs until I got up next to him, and they were pencil drawings. I was just floored. I said, okay, this is something I can do. And then I made the mistake, thinking I was from Montana. I started drawing all this rural stuff, wildlife, horses, farm scenes, none of the stuff I could relate to. Cowboys and all the stuff I was doing, I was just doing because I thought that's what would please people. And it wasn't until I decided to draw a picture for my dad. And he was a big baseball guy. He played baseball, had an opportunity to play, minor league baseball, but he didn't go because he went to the Korean War. And so I was brought up as a baseball bat boy and all these things with his team and Legion teams and stuff like that. So I had this connection with baseball. So I did him a picture, and I did it on my floor in my living room. I just sat down and did it. It was so gratifying. And when I gave it to him, because it meant something, I could relate to this. And if I felt this. And so then I thought, you know what, why am I doing farms and tractors? And I don't know anything about that stuff. I don't know anything about horses. What I know is baseball. So then I started doing a series of baseball pictures. They were kind of a collage, so your eyes were moving around. It wasn't just one scene. It was a picture over here and then a ghost out picture of a guy back here. One of them was called The Ghost of Cy. It was Cy Young as one of the greatest pitchers in baseball history. The best pitcher gets the Cy Young Award. All these really popular pictures all over the thing, and then I had Cy Young sitting in the middle, kind of ghosted out, faded out in pencil. That triggered all kinds of things. So then I did a catcher's one, I did an infielder's one, I used to scout for the Philadelphia Phillies. I was an area scout in Montana. My boss, Harry Amond, was in Spokane, so I did a Phillies picture for him. And so I just started doing sports stuff. Now my passion was classic cars. Now I'm getting into a little bit of watercolor and doing fishing, stuff like that. Things that I connect to. That's my inspiration. Some of the pictures that I have in your virtual exhibition, one of them is a friend of mine, Danny Marinkovich, and the guy he's an icon from Montana. He's 90-some years old. He still goes and plays golf. I mean, he just does everything. He's been involved with driver's ed forever. He has all these classic cars. He's from Butte. I had all these references to his Georgetown Lake home and all of his classic cars that he has. And he started in Miles City, so I had a little Miles City thing in the picture, and the state of Montana and all that stuff. Tried to watercolor that, and I was really pleased with how that came out. But a lot of them are classic cars. Like I have an old, I think it's a 60, might be a 65 Chevy pickup. I did do some wildlife. I got influenced by the bison being because of our high school. And so I did this bison, and then I was thinking, well, what if I did all the kings of the animals in Montana, like the elk and the bighorn sheep. And so I did this collage, tried to make them all fit together, and that turned out pretty nice. I thought.
What inspires or influences the art that you make?
When I first started, I thought I had to please these people, and I don't. I realized I don't. When I used to do art shows early on, I'd have stuff up there, and I'd be, oh, please like it, please like it. And then they go, oh, this is really nice, but I hate Green Bay Packers. And they'd walk away, and I'd just like, well, I didn't need to hear that. Or they come up and they look at a picture and go, this is really cool. Could you do the same thing and put my son in there? No. So certain things influence me. And again, I just try to please myself now. If it sells, great. If it doesn't, that's all right. I can give it away and make someone's day. To me, that's more important. I've given away so much artwork out of the blue, and people are speechless. They don't even know what to say.
As an educator, do you feel that being an educator influences your artwork or vice versa?
I don't think being an educator influences my artwork. I would hope that my artwork would influence my students. I went through the high school programs before, and I've observed high school programs before, and it frustrates me that these teachers are trying to mold these kids to do artwork that the teacher wants. I don't think that's right. I think you're sucking the creativity out of it. And that's where they get frustrated and don't take art anymore. They think they're doing something really, really good. And then if someone comes along and goes, well, there's not enough color. You need to add more color.
Mm-hmm.
And they go, okay. So then they add more color and someone goes, oh, that's too much color. Accept what they do and the message that they're trying to give you. So that's my philosophy. When I do artwork, I share it with them. And if they like it, great. If they don't, that's fine too. Using your creativity, create. It's your way of speaking too. If you're not a very good communicator, you might be a pretty good artist because you're trying to send your message out in a picture. So frustrating to watch people say, I kind of like your idea, but I think you need to do more over here and you need to add something over here. You can teach them about the rule of thirds, balance, movement, all that stuff, but don't try to make their artwork your artwork and tell them what to do. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's where I think we fail.
So, what would be one piece of advice that you would give to students?
You do what makes you happy. If you're going to be creative, make yourself happy. Don't worry if it's going to make me happy. Don't worry if it's going to make the person across the street happy or anything else. If you're doing artwork to try to please people, you're not going to enjoy what you're doing. Just do what you like, and you can look at this artwork and it'll have a meaning to you. I might come along and say, I don't understand. I wish someone would say, well, you don't need to. That's what I wish. But then I would understand. It's theirs,
Mhm.
not mine.
Well, my last question is, how do you see arts as being vital to our society, and perhaps especially now?
Like I said before, I see art as very important because it allows kids an ability to communicate, an avenue to say what they want to say. I think it's important that we allow kids to be creative, to be individuals. There's no need for us to put kids in a copy machine and make copies of the same kid, same thoughts, same beliefs. One thing that art taught me is that there are so many people that think different, see different, hear different, and say different. I think that's so important that a person can be themselves by what they create. And those, I really enjoyed being around those people. I'm going to miss that. I'm going to miss that a lot.
Well, is there anything else that you would like to add that I haven't
Um,
asked you?
it's going to be different. I just hope whoever they get to replace me is someone who's going to let kids be themselves and let them be creative on their own. Don't try to tell them this is what I want you to draw. I want you to use these colors and all this because that's not working in any way you do it with any class. It's not working. You got to let them be themselves. Let them say what they have to say, and if it's verbal or in illustration, that's important.
Well, thank you so much for your interview, Jerry. It was a pleasure to speak with you and very inspirational.